today, and I was supposed to talk to you about all the wonderful things we do in the hardware field. But in reality, I would like to earmark my talk to you today in a broader context. You see, I was invited last year to go to Palm Beach to the wonderful gathering that 1450 organized. And I brought here, for recalling, the main slide of my presentation. And my presentation was about to invite the VARs, the American VARs, because we are also a VAR, on how to change our business model for survival. You might think how we were doing business 10 years ago. And I think you will agree with me that 10 years ago we were essentially box shippers, box movers, whereas now we must be something else to survive. You see, we have to have innovative and unique hardware enhancements to make our clients more satisfied. We have to have innovative and usual software solutions. We have to have first-class service. We decided to go that route simply because, probably like you, we were not satisfied with the solutions that we could outsource in the market. And to start with, we decided to go ahead with the idea of being able to make a desktop microphone that could match or could become even better than the best available headset. It was a daring and a very challenging dilemma, you see, because essentially, by definition, a desktop microphone cannot work properly as a headset, as a high-quality headset, simply because the microphone element is too far away from your mouth. And therefore, the sound that the finest headset picks up is by far better than whatever you can get from a long-range dictation desktop microphone. But we went to the work, we went to the designer draw, and we decided that we could do it. As a matter of fact, what we created was the industry first equalizer, automatic gain control and equalizer in a chipset. This is what it's all about in our TableMikes and range of devices. You see, this is our web page for the TableMikes and our hardware. And you see what it's all about is that we have created that device. And do you remember, I mean, if you are a fan of music like I am, you remember 10, 15 years ago, before the advent of digital, we had to use very cumbersome kind of setups of equipment with a lot of levers simply to differentiate what was voice, the voice of the singer, from music. There was such a lot of background noise. Well, it's essentially the same with speech recognition. If you put the microphone far away from your throat, your voice dissipates, so to say. So the good thing about the TableMikes is that we have that special technology that has been extremely successful. You see, a couple of years ago, the American leading computer magazine, Macworld, decided, we are now in the Macworld page, decided that the 6-in-1 TableMike deserved a 4.5 mice, which for us was fantastic because the editor told us it was one of the best ratings they could provide a desktop microphone. And they even said something very categorical, something very clear, that we were the best choice out there. We still are, by the way, in the desktop arena. So we were so encouraged that we continue investing in our range of microphones. Essentially now what we have are 3 different TableMikes. We have a basic model which we call the 3-in-1 TableMike, and you see it's solidly built in think die cast metal base, very heavy, very sturdy, very solid, very high quality. This is essentially a basic desktop microphone with digital keys to avoid interferences with the noises, and with these 2 functioning modes. We call the equalizer and AGC functioning mode under green light, and we also call the normal mode under blue light, green light. Then if your client would like to go for more functionalities, and by the way 3, 6 and 9 means different functions, you can offer them the 6-in-1. The difference, the 3 added functionalities, is essentially the built-in speaker, high quality speaker, good for voice playback, good for music, and also what you have here on the back of the microphone. You have a foot pedal, a special proprietary analog foot pedal to control the switching on and off of the microphone, which makes it unique also, and the possibility to plug into the microphone an external USB device, no matter what device. By the way, the 3-in-1 and the 6-in-1 and the 9-in-1, they all share a headset for hearing your conversation if you are doing a Skype, because it's fantastic for Skype like I'm doing now, or you can also put into no matter what kind of headset, highly unidirectional headset, if you are in a very noisy environment. If you connect an external headset into our base, you will have the best possible base, the best possible USB interface in the market. So this is the 6-in-1, and then you go to the 9-in-1, and the 9-in-1 again is the same as the 6-in-1, but you get 3 additional functionalities. You get a special USB, a second USB port here that we use essentially to connect a very high quality HD camera with manual focusing, and it will provide amazing communication facilities to your setup, especially if you are doing webinars or if you are doing Skype, etc. And then you also have here on top of it, you have a universal memory card flash reader. And you might say, what is that for? Well, that is essentially because many of our users, of your users, they use a digital recorder, and what they like is simply to extract the memory card, to put it in here, to have quick access to a Dragon transcription. And this is why we are providing that. All models also feature a programmable push button here, you see. And this is extremely helpful for completely handicapped quadriplegic people, because in that way you can program the microphone to be always on, even if you restart the computer, or you can program to press to lock, to function, or press to talk. Whatever you choose, you decide. You see, it's quite an amazing microphone. As a matter of fact, I think it is now unique in the market because so many features, such a fantastic performance. And then we have developed recently also a software that we give it for free. And we call this the TableMike config, and will allow essentially to configure the 2 volume buttons on top of the control panel of the microphone to configure to any Dragon voice command, Word, Microsoft Word, macro, or Windows macro that you might like to have. In that way, you will have a very powerful setup like this. More on this later. Well, you see, this is essentially the range of our head and desktop microphones. By the end of the year, we will be adding a new model, and this is the SpeechWare TableMike 1-in-1, which will be the most economic model of the range, with just a switch to push in to talk and to push in again to switch off, and that's it. And that will provide us a complete coverage for all budgets, always maintaining the highest quality and the highest standard. As I told you, we have been already very successful in the media, not only the Mac world, but for instance here in Europe, Macworld, which is the leader, the computer magazine, the leading computer magazine in Germany, also chose our 9-in-1 this time, and we were very happy, because you see, it's very difficult to sell somebody to a German guy, especially if there are similar or competing German devices. Don't forget that the best sound hardware that we make here in Europe are mostly made by German companies, for instance, Sennheiser, Grundig, you know them, and now in Belgium and in Spain, because we are Spanish and Belgian by the definition, the SpeechWare table mics. Okay, so we were extremely pleased, as I told you. We have been extensive coverage in the media, as I told you. For instance, if you come here to our web page for a software product that we make in Spain, you can see us all in practically all the television shows in the country, in Belgium, in Spain, well, obviously in Spanish and in French, but you can even see me here in this show, television show, because you see our device now knows a lot of success and a lot of, a lot of users. We have thousands of users. And this is why we want to share with you in the United States this success. As a matter of fact, we are already present in the American market. Don't forget, for instance, if I go back to the TableMike web page here in shop, that we have already a certain number of retailers doing very good business there. For instance, you might know a speech recognition solution, John Warenberger. He told publicly last year in Palm Beach that at that moment we were there 40% of their whole turnover of microphones. We were very pleased to hear that because I never had that before. But now I know that John told me that we're even higher, that we are now becoming a very substantial partner for their business. Well, we would like you to be the same. You see, through 1450, in spite of the fact that we are so far away, we cordially invite you to jump on board, to join in, because you will find a new way to innovate and to offer unique hardware enhancements to your clients at no cost. I mean, there is no hidden cost, no development cost. That we did it all for you. So we were, as I told you, so happy with this that one day one client came in and said, Mr. Boccio, this is all fantastic. I own one 3-in-1 for my home, one 9-in-1 for my office. But you know what? The problem is that I travel a lot. And what do I do? What do you mean? What do you want me to do when I travel a lot? Because I'm not going to transport your heavy microphone, even if they are detachable. Did you notice they are detachable? Okay, because you can detach we did it on purpose. But even so, well, you know, I'm not going to put this in a plane or in a hotel. They are heavy, they are cumbersome to transport like that. So you need to find out a solution. So we got back to the drawing board, and what we did was the TravelMike. The TravelMike. You see, the TravelMike is very unique. It's a very unique desktop microphone because it's the smallest in the world for a notebook. It's the smallest in the world for a tablet PC. It's a very special device because it is sharing the same electronics and the same performance that the big brothers. I show you a very small thing for you to have a look. You see, this is just the body. It's a very sophisticated audio card with the two functionalities, green and blue functionalities for long range and normal distance. You plug it like this, and we are even now developing a special box, a special hub to put it in your dock. You see, it's quite an amazing thing. It's quite an amazing thing. Why you should start doing business with this? Well, you see, read about this, please. These small considerations in which we try to explain why we think they are so fantastic for a speech recognition user, and have a look. And by the way, we have also here for this webinar, we prepare a very special video here with Hemingway. We call it Unboxing the USB TravelMike and a SpeechMatic USB multi-adapter. By the way, the SpeechMatic USB multi-adapter is the audio card, is the core of the TableMike, this little white color audio sound card that you can buy also apart individually. And we did something with your amazing Hemingway writer that I love, and I asked a client of us to film this special video, 3 minutes video for you. So you see, we launched the TravelMike a few months ago. It's having a very good echo, a very good reception in the market, and again, it will provide you the capability to offer your clients something very unique, surprisingly good, very performing, And this is why I would like you to test it and to check it, because I think you are going to be immediately very, very convinced about the possibilities of this device. Thirdly, another client came one day and they said, Mr. Boccio, good, but you know, I work in a very, very noisy environment. Even if your devices are so good and they have sound filtering and AGC, so they adjust automatically to the dictation distance and an equalizer and so forth. Okay, that's fair enough. But you see, I work in the airport, and there is so noisy the airport that I will really like to continue, or I love to continue with a good headset. Why don't you get into the headset business? And well, we thought twice, and we started to consider how we could innovate in the headset business, and we came back with these ideas. You see, we came back with the FlexyMike, with the SpeechWare FlexyMike single ear, which is the world's lightest headset. And you see, it's very special because it's made out of titanium, like the modern glasses that you put in your eyes, and after 5 minutes of wearing it, you will hardly notice anything. And then we patented a special ear ring. We call this the ear ring. And you see, the amazing thing about it is that once you put it around your ear, it stands. It stands, because we spend a lot of money, time, in research in doing this and how to fit it perfectly, in order that the microphone keeps steady nearby your mouth. And well, we found that this was a tremendous solution, a tremendous thing. So the FlexyMike is now also out of the market. It's having a hell of a lot of echoes, response. People are very excited. Look into the internet, you will see what people say about our FlexyMike. This is an omnidirectional microphone. So you need to use it in relatively calm environments. But we are considering now also launching a unidirectional, a cardioid FlexyMike single ear. By the way, we already did it, because many people said, we love your device, but we would like to use it 8 hours per day. And well, 8 hours per day, having this around the ear, okay, it might be for you easier to find another design, even more comfortable. So we came with the same capsule, omnidirectional capsule. We came to the market with the dual ear, the FlexyMike Dual Ear, sharing exactly the same capsule that the single ear. As you can see here, same response, but more comfortable. A little bit heavier, but more comfortable, because you have got here a rubber band adjustment, headband with rubber bands, which adjusts extremely well to your head. And we were also very satisfied. And finally, a month and a half ago, we launched the same model, but with our first cardioid, capsule, And we were very surprised, because again, Macworld tested, and look at what they said. So they said, FlexyMike, one of the finest microphones available for dictation on your Mac. That was funny, because we didn't pretend we don't work for Macintosh. We work for Windows. But they said, the editor said, again, gave us 4.5. And you say, at the end of the day, he said, in spite of my reservation regarding comfort, this is the finest headset that I have tested. Accuracy approaches 100%, and this was in testing with a new profile, etc., etc. So you see, we are again extremely excited with the market response to our device, and this is why we want you to consider putting us into your catalog. But it's not only just a question of hardware, you see. We decided also a few years ago that to change from a box cheaper business model to a real solution provider, we needed not only the best possible hardware solutions, the most innovative, the most performing, but we also need a lot of effort to get innovative and useful software. And we are now delivering. After a few years of very heavy investments, we are now delivering. Have a look on what we are doing now, because it might be interesting for you. You see, if we come here to downloads and we come to applications, you can see the first thing we do, let us start in a logical order. The first thing we do, or we did, as I already told you, is the TableMike config for our FlexyMikes. So as I said, this will allow you to configure very easily the 2 volume buttons of the built-in microphone or speaker out port of any TableMike. You can assign it to anything really you like, to any Windows, Dragon, Microsoft Word command. So you press and twice, or press and long press or double press, and you will release that thing. So that was fine because people were very excited, and many people said this is very useful, Mr. Boccio. But what about doing the same sort of functionalities for any other device, any other USB device? And we told them, well, look, it's not easy because there is not such a standard for USB interfacing with a computer. And especially most manufacturers, Philips, Olympus, etc., they keep that very secretly. So it's very difficult to interfere to control their devices. But we went back to the drawing board, and again we launched our Octopus USB controller, which is essentially the same idea, but you see it's one single software, very economical, by the way, that will allow to control you simultaneously, and I want to underline simultaneously, not only the TableMike, but anything that you connect to a computer. And that is, by all standards, I believe, an industry first. And we were very, very satisfied and very excited when a few months ago when Philips released their latest and finest handheld microphone, there was a lot of problem with their USB application. And we were very, very surprised because many people use our Octopus USB controller, as you can see here, to configure their own application. So this application might be very, very interesting for you if you handle big accounts, big clients, a hospital, whatever, that have the problem of managing many different USB devices, each one of them with a different driver, with a different application, with different updates. So why not switch it to the Octopus USB controller, and you will get only one for everyone, and no learning curve, no headaches. Everything will be done with Octopus. And a second practical application of this software, of this piece of software, is to control, as I said, many things simultaneously in one PC, and that was not possible before. And that might be extremely useful for many people. For instance, quadriplegic again, they may use a foot pedal, a USB foot pedal, an external keypad, our TableMike, all together at the same time to have a real hands-free kind of experience with their computer. Or a pathologist, because they need to have all hands occupied in something else. So this is the Octopus USB controller, which we launched beginning of the year, and we were here. I must express my gratitude publicly because we were extremely helped by John Warenberger and a speech recognition solutions team. Without his valuable aid, we won't be possibly ever be able to launch these. He did a tremendous amount of beta testing. He and his people, he wrote the manual, so we are very grateful to him, and this is why he is now keeping the exclusivity to sell this software in the United States, which he does at a very economical, very cheap price, by the way. I would like him to raise his price, but well, this is how it's done now. And finally, we are now trying to introduce in the American market our most, for the time being, our best piece of software, which I believe is QuickType, is for Dragon, naturally speaking. And you might say, what is that for? Well, it's essentially the same idea. It's a workflow kind of application that will allow any secretary to correct the Dragon, naturally speaking, transcription with virtually any USB foot pedal. Do not forget that we are very advanced in the capability of controlling anyone else's USB devices. So it will work with any of them. You are not bound by the Philips. If you buy the Philips solution or by the Olympus, we will really work with any one of them. And above all, our solution, and this is the important thing, is not SQL based, because I believe this is the most important issue. Well, I have spent many thousands of hours working with third-party solutions, Philips, Olympus, you name it, and it's always the problem. These people figure out that you must be, or you must have an engineer nearby you just to configure their configuration, their workflow configuration for digital dictation and for speech recognition, not ours. Ours, I think, is one of the first in the market to be based completely in HTML, which means extremely simple configuration, extremely simple setup, and above all, which is quite unique, you can do the follow-up of your transcriptions of the work of your secretaries through the internet, which means through a smartphone and a tablet. You have to check this, to test this, to believe it, because it's quite an experience. Our clients, our lawyers' offices, our hospitals are amazed about this possibility. Finally, because of that, we have added an industry-first feature again, and is the possibility to manage and to synchronize your voice recordings and your transcriptions when they are made through QuickTypeist. You can do this through any popular cloud service like Dropbox and in a few weeks even a SkyDrive or Google Drive. And again, I think this is an industry first, because you see, if your secretary is not at that moment, at that precise moment, because you are in the United States and your secretary is in Europe at work, but you want to have the transcription of your iOS digital recording application transcribed and back to you, how do you do it? Well, with QuickTypeist, because you will simply record it. We have also Android and iOS applications to record, although for the time being we only offer free of charge the one for Android. You send it over, you Dropbox it, and you send it over through the cloud to your QuickTypeist running in your computer or in your server, whatever it is, and then you can get it back immediately. So you see, I think it's again a new approach to this fascinating aspect of the business, which is transcription and workflow, and again provide more value to all your customers, and we are very excited about it. You see, we have here in Belgium and in Spain and in France several thousand customers with the professional version of Dragon Natural Speaking, so they can spend money in any other solutions. Although, you see, our solution will also work with medical, legal, and even premium. We propose them our application, and the response is overwhelming. We can barely keep the rhythm of installing QuickTypeist because, or training people with QuickTypeist, because there's a lot of excitement about it. So I'll invite you today also to download our current demo for you to test. Eventually, if you feel there is a market for this among your clients, the one that you already have, well, say so, and we might organize another webinar through 1415, a quick webinar, because it's very simple to use. And although we still need to work a little bit more the English-speaking manual, because obviously our application is mainly sold in French, in Spanish, but the interface is completely now in English. It's only the manual that we need to work a little bit more, but that will be done within a few weeks. Well, I already ran for 30 minutes. It's incredible how fast time goes when you are excited, when you are fascinated about what you are doing, or you try to explain what you are doing. And I'm open by any question that you might put forward, but please consider browsing our webpage, learning about our devices, and eventually jumping on board. We are VARs like you, and we need you. It's only through hundreds of VARs like you that we can really have an impact in the market. And we already did on our own. We are very noticed here in Europe. You can check our presence in the internet, in the media, everywhere, especially in Europe. So we would very much like to put also your name here in the US within the next few weeks. Thank you very much, and Stephen, I give you the floor for if anyone wants to put forward any question now.
Yes, thank you, Boccio, for that wonderful, wonderful presentation for SpeechWare. I hope everyone here has gotten a lot out of this. I'll open it up to questions. You can use the chat function, or you can raise your hand, and I can go ahead and give you the floor there. We'll wait just a few minutes for people to gather their thoughts. Okay, Boccio, I do have a question. Someone's asking, how do they get to the page that's on view? How do they put their logo up for that?
Well, once the normal procedure, the standard procedure is that they first, through you, they test the device they are most interested in, or several devices, and if they would like to start a business with them, well, they will get into terms with you. And then immediately after, they decided to go ahead and push in our products by simply sending us proof that they have used, they have updated their web page with our material. You see, we provide here, under all sections, we provide a gallery, and everything you see in this web page is available free of charge, free of copyright for you to use in your web. As soon as you prove us that you have inserted our products, the one you are interested to promote, actively promote, and to sell into your web, we will do likewise. We will insert your logo here and everything. And by the way, our web page now is very notorious, especially after getting those wonderful reviews from Macworld, and some other media. Many people, we have many hundreds of hits per day, so it might be very beneficial for you.
Okay, thank you for that. It appears I don't have any other current questions at the moment. Anyone who's attending, feel free to shoot us an email at var@1450.com if you have any questions going further. Thanks so much, Boccio, again, for doing this wonderful webinar. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for everyone who attended for your patience, and hopefully this was able to be a very informative presentation for you. And like I said, if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot us an email. If not, have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, all.